day everyone, we are How to Get Away with Sarah, and today we are here to discuss one of the pressing problems in our group. We are a group of 8. I am Ms. JABAR, I'm the group moderator for today, Ms. SERVO, Ms. SINCO, who is currently our group leader, Mr. BARCOS, Mr. SAMPILO, Ms. CRITICA, Ms. APOLINAR. And we have also one more member who is Ms. Sarah. However, she is not here today to join us. But the pressing problem is Sarah has a headstrong attitude, but she is a very nice person. However, her headstrong attitude allows her to be domineering in terms of ideas and how to address the output of the group. And when her ideas are not entertained, she tends to undermine how the group is going about with the output. So this tends to have a division in the group, wherein some just want to please her just for the sake of avoiding conflict. And second, there's another division wherein some of the members tend to resent her for it, which these divisions cause conflict within the group regarding the idea. So we would like to address this conflict. Furthermore, how do we address conflict of ideas among group members to come up with one output? So first, let us address the nature of the problem. So what is the nature of the problem? First of all, how does the group members feel about the problem?
As the member of the group, I speak in behalf of my group members. I think right now we are really lost. We don't know how to go about with our problem at hand. We don't know how to accomplish our task as a group right now.
Like what Ms. SINCO said, I'm personally confused and lost on what is happening in our group.
I think that the conflict of ideas in a group is unnecessary since a group is supposed to have one mind and one output as well.
I agree to that because a group should be united, or at the very least, must meet halfway.
I feel like we lack coordination, that's why we are divided into.
So, for me, I feel like we do not have a common goal.
Okay, so let me summarize that you feel that this conflict is unnecessary, you guys don't feel united, there's lack of coordination, or what you have mentioned earlier, the member feels lost, and because you're lost, there's no common goal established. With this, we're given these how you feel about the problem and the problem at hand. What do you think is the main cause of the conflict of ideas? First, in terms of knowledge, or in terms of knowledge regarding the ideas of the group.
Since my groupmates and I come from different colleges, I think we have different perspectives and different beliefs towards certain things like this task.
Well, I think that different personalities of each members will clash towards each other's ideas since the differences of their personalities.
Could you expand further on what kind of personalities, negative, positive?
Okay. For example, we have an INTJ or something like that, and
What is INTJ?
introverted, something like that. And the opposite of that is the extroverted personality. So that might be a really big problem for each members.
Okay. Any more?
Particularly on the group, I can say that some members are stubborn, and despite of being presented with a viable idea, they tend to stick to what they believe in. They tend to be unyielding, and they monopolize the discussion.
Any more?
So, I do believe that we do have free riders or slackers in the group. They also contribute to the lacking of initiative in the group.
Any more?
Others are in agreement with Sarah while others resent her and do not agree.
So you're saying there's a division. So you think that the root of the problem is different perspectives in terms of your knowledge, ideas, or different personalities. What can also be related to what Mrs. CRITICA said about monopolizing members. Another is free loaders or free riders. And first is because of the different personalities and perspectives or beliefs, there is division. Mainly because another specific mention because of Sarah. Okay. So, you mentioned the root of the problem. We have identified factors. What might be done to entertain and to merge the ideas of the group in order to have one output, given the roots of the problem you have identified? Anyone can start.
I think all members should have expressed their idea and to have consensus in decision making on what will be the good solution for the problem.
Addition to what Ms. Apolinar said, we should encourage everyone to speak about their opinions about the issue, especially the shy people, because they're really not comfortable in speaking in groups, so we have to talk to them personally.
Well, according to Ms. Rilon, a guidance counselor in Philippine Science High School, Central Mindanao Campus, we should really confront the problem. So we have to discuss the problem with her, Sarah, so that we can tell our problems with her and she can tell us her side. And with that, we can get this off our chests and we can make the discussion easier with the problem solved.
I think on top of that, first and foremost, we should establish a better means of communication because I've read an article from Forbes published last 2012 saying that most conflicts arise because there is poor information, misinformation, or no information at all has been delivered.
Another possible solution is to create interdependence among members. I found this on an article in Carnegie Mellon University. To create interdependence means to assign roles to people. And when you assign roles, for example, to Ms. Servo or to Ms. Apolinar, you ensure that the roles you give to them showcase their knowledge and their skills as people.
So to add possible solutions, I suggest we set deadlines. We should set deadlines so that difficult stages of the group project should be narrowed down, and by doing so, specific tasks will be accomplished immediately.
To clarify that, you're suggesting specification of tasks as well.
Yes.
Any more?
Wait, there's one more. There's this modified board account. They need to modified board.
Is everyone, with respect to what Ms. SINCO suggested, is everyone familiar with this?
Okay, so modified board account is a voting system wherein everyone is asked to rank the options available in order of their preference. For example, we have 3 solutions. We are to rank them. The first one is given 3 points, second one is given 2 points, and so on. So therefore, we'll know the solution we want to pursue.
Clear with what Ms. SINCO said or suggested. Any more suggestions, clarifications? With respect to what I mentioned earlier, what the members have suggested earlier, are there any suggestions in particular that you wish to be explained further or to be clarified? Let us proceed. So given all the suggested solutions, let me summarize first what are the suggested solutions. First is the integration of all the ideas or consensus making as mentioned by Ms. Apolinar. For Mr. Sampilo, he suggested of setting up deadlines with specifically specification of taskings or different taskings among the members. Also suggested was to build interdependence. Confirmation by Mr. BARCOS. The modified board account, which is another type of consensus making. And collaboration in terms of encouragement of specific members who may feel inferior inside the group, like shy people. And others is, lastly, is the better communication, as suggested by Ms. CRITICA. So are we all clear for the suggested solutions? So let us proceed to how should we evaluate this respective solutions that we have suggested. So we have decided on a criteria to evaluate the solutions based on the root of the problem that we have identified, which is that there is no equality in the ideas, there is no fairness, that some ideas are not acceptable and there's no common goal. So the ideas respectively are fairness, acceptability to the members of the group, consolidation and consideration of all ideas of group members. Fourth, the resolution of interpersonal arguments and group divisions. Like what you mentioned earlier, there are divisions within the group, interpersonal arguments. Specifically reading from Sarah. And projected effectiveness in solving the problem, which is conflict of ideas. So let us go through all the criteria for all the solutions. So do we think that all the solutions are fair, or is there any solution that is not fair?
Well, I think confrontation is not really fair to Sarah. That's one of the cons of that solution, the possible solution.
Why?
Well, confrontation isolates Sarah from the group, and that's kind of awkward for her since she's being boxed out of the group. So it's not really fair for her.
How about the other solutions? Are the other solutions being fair to other members of the group? For acceptability to the group, to the members of the group, is there any in particular solution that was suggested that you think is not acceptable to the members of the group, or won't be acceptable to some members of the group?
Well, probably confrontation as well, since it again locks out Sarah out of the group, and she's really not being considered at all if that happens. I mean, if we really explain to her the problems, it's still boxing her out and isolating her from the group.
Any more unacceptability to the members of the group? So we all, the groups agree that all the suggested solutions are acceptable.
Yes.
Except
By Mr. BARCOS.
For confrontation
Yeah.
again. For the next criteria, consolidation and consideration of all ideas of group members. Are all proposed ideas able to consider and consolidate all the ideas of the members? Ideas in terms of knowledge ideas on the output. Will it,
I would think so.
does everyone agree?
Yes.
Or are there any subjections? Okay, fourth is, are all the solutions able to resolve interpersonal arguments and group divisions? Is there any in particular solution that does not resolve this criteria? Okay, so last criteria is the projected effectiveness in solving the problem. Are all the solutions proposed will solve the problem at hand, which is conflict of ideas among the group members in achieving one problem. Okay, so we have all agreed that specifically confrontation, the solution of confrontation, does not adhere to the criteria of fairness and acceptability, namely because it puts Sarah into isolation from the group, wherein it may cause further conflict, as I agreed upon. Moving on, do we think that some of the ideas mentioned, or ideas or solutions mentioned, are some ideas related? Is there a need to merge?
I think for the modified board account and for Ms. APOLINAR's suggestion, the consensus, I think they all bottom down to a common goal, which is still consensus. just in different processes.
So we can generally
We can merge
to
to consensus.
consensus making in general, or adapt to the more.
Modify more than modify.
Okay, so what else? Is there any more? Are there any more ideas to be merged? Let me present again the different solutions that were given, which is to build interdependence, confrontation, better communication, or better means of communication, consensus making, or integration of ideas. Fifth is collaboration in terms of encouragement of all the group members to be involved. Number 6 is to set deadlines, and 7 is the modified board account. There was an agreement that modified board account and consensus making would be merged. What else? What other ideas can be merged or are similar?
I think better communication can go with Mr. Sampilo's suggestions.
The
Setting of deadlines.
Okay. In terms of
If you set an idea, if you set deadlines and you have better communications, you can actually communicate better with your group members, since you just talk about it and set deadlines and divide the work, and you can talk to them through emails or just actually talk in person.
alright, any more?
In addition to that, I think it could also be merged with collaboration, since in order to collaborate, we'll need to have better ways of communication and to set deadlines.
Okay, so there's a suggestion to merge communication with deadlines and collaboration. Alright. Any more?
I think we can merge interdependence and collaboration,
Okay, in terms of
because in interdependence, we divide the task in order to share a common goal, and with that, we need to collaborate with one another to achieve that goal.
okay, so there will be 3 solutions. There is going to be 4 solutions since the merging happened, which is mainly first is setting deadlines in terms of better communication and collaboration. Second is collaboration in terms of encouragement and building of interdependence. And third will be the modified board account and consensus making. And there's still one more which the group was unable to merge, which is confrontation. So given this, we have 4 solutions. Are there any more pressing pros and cons that should be addressed for each idea? Pressing pros and cons that should be
I
addressed.
think in consensus meeting, in order to have consensus meeting, we should respect and listen and the ideas of each other. In order to have that, we should brainstorm ideas. According to Sarkisian, one advantage of brainstorming is that ideas do not become closely associated with the individuals who suggested them. This process encourages creative thinking if it is not rushed and if all ideas are written down.
So that is pro for the consensus meeting.
Yeah.
Any more cons or pros that we should discuss?
For the pros of the modified board account, I think one pro is all the members' ideas are tackled. So,
Okay. Because in terms of what?
like for example, when we finalize our consensus, which is our common endpoint already, despite the common endpoint, before we reach that point, all the ideas of the members are still taken into consideration.
Okay, so we have reached, before I summarize, are there any more pros and cons to be acknowledged? None. So we can proceed to consensus making.
Alright.
So before we proceed to consensus making, I'd just like to summarize. We have proposed 4 solutions in which we have merged the earlier solutions that were suggested. Which is, first, we have suggested that the merging of setting deadlines, which will be merged with collaboration in terms of agreement and better communication. The second proposed solution is building interdependence and collaboration in terms of agreement. And the third solution is modified board account and consensus making. And the fourth solution is confrontation. Before we move on to the next level, to the next step, which is to be able to come up with our top 3 choices of solutions, we will first have a commercial break to be able to ease the tension first. So let me just get my props.
Sure.
Okay, so we will have fast talk.
Right.
So is everyone familiar with fast talk?
Yes.
Okay, so I will give all of you a chance to answer 4 questions. These are just very basic questions. Hopefully basic enough. So you will only get given like 3 seconds back. Since the concept of fast talk. Okay, so the first question is, Jollibee or McDo?
Jollibee.
Miss Apolinaar is?
McDo.
Everyone's Jollibee. Okay. Second is, choco na gatas or gatas na choco?
Gatas na
Gatas na choco.
Gatas na choco.
Choco na gatas.
Choco na gata.
Choco na gatas.
Okay. What do you think is the difference of choco na gatas nga?
The choco na gatas is a chocolate that's a milk, and gatas na choco is a milk that's a chocolate.
Okay. Okay, next is, mahal mo o nagmamahal sa'yo?
Mahal.
Mahal mo.
Mahal mo.
Mahal ko.
Mahal mo.
Mahal mo.
Mahal mo.
Oh! Why? Bakit kaya? Bakit? Okay, justification mabilis lang. Fast.
Mahirap pagmahal ng di mo.
It's easier to pursue love when you yourself really feels it.
I just like loving a person no matter what.
Well, I just want to love.
Oh.
I guess I'm Mark.
Because I love you.
Okay, let us move on to our last question. Honor or excellence?
Honor.
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 Okay, that caps off our talk. Okay, so we have better problems to attend to, but it was nice that we got to know each other further. Okay, so now, given the top 3 solutions that I have suggested, let us do a voting. Again, what are the top 3 solutions chosen by we will choose what are the top 3 solutions. So again, the top 3 solutions is better communication with collaboration through encouragement and setting deadlines. Second is modified board account and consensus making. And then third is integration and collaboration. Okay, so, and confrontation for the fourth. So you'll have voting. Okay, so first for the first solution, which is the collaborative collaboration of ideas, setting deadlines, and better communication. Raise of hands. You can only vote once. And you can vote twice. Okay. Mr. Sampilo. Okay. Next is confrontation. 2, 8, 4. Next is for the third, which is modified BARDA account and consensus making. 5, okay. Next, lastly, is we have the integration and collaboration. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we have our top 3 solutions, which is first is the modified board account and the consensus making. Second, we have the integration and collaboration, and then third, we have the confrontation. Okay, so what can we all support? So we will now choose one. You can only vote once. Okay. So what number 1 is has this for the first solution was just integration and collaboration. Integration and collaboration going once, going twice. Second is the modified board account and consensus making. So all group members. So all group members voted. So assuming confrontation, no one will vote. So has a decision been emerged from the members, which is the modified board account and consensus making. So is it agreed upon that we all support it? So given that we have we have came up with one uniform solution. We have all that the group has all agreed upon, which is modified board account and consensus making. How do we communicate to the respective members of the group regarding the chosen recommendation or solution? Firstly, through what approach should the members of the group be addressed with regarding the chosen solution, such as physical setting? Where would you like this to take place?
As a leader, I think it should happen in a room where everything is formal and everything is seriously dealt with.
Like what set? In particular?
I think a small room, classroom or something.
Okay. And should the setup, how would the consensus making be approached? Individually, by pair, by group in general?
To lessen the possibilities of bias, I think it should be done individually.
And through what medium? Any suggestions?
I think it should be written down in paper, like actual votes.
Okay. So who will be preparing this criteria? Or how will the approach be prepared? How will the solution be prepared? Who are the persons assigned to facilitate?
I think the leader, me.
You. And would you like to task anyone in particular to help you?
Can I ask help from you?
Okay, the moderators. I will accept. And how will the consensus making process or the modified board account, given that you mentioned earlier there's evaluation, prioritization, who will be editing it and approving it?
I think us also, the people who are in
Will,
charge of it.
okay. So how will this modified board account and consensus making be implemented?
Well, I think it should be raised as a suggestion during group meetings so that we could use that.
Okay. Who will be involved in the implementation?
The entire group.
Entire group. Okay. And given this consensus making, will there any be succeeding activities after the consensus making or modified board account?
I think if the modified board account succeeds, then there is no need to do a follow-up. But if it doesn't succeed, then maybe the group can think of other ways.
Okay, so in general, we have reached a solution, which is to adapt to the modified board account and the consensus making in order to be able to solve the conflict of ideas in order to have one specific outcome. So again, we are group How to Get Away with Sarah, and our solution is the modified board account and consensus making in order to address the conflict of ideas in the group. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.